All right, so most people, they see the world like this, but I'm a paleoecologist who spends a lot of time with bones, so I actually sort of see the world a bit more like this. That's because bones are great archives of the past, and they can give us all sorts of information about an individual's diet, where they were living, what they were eating, their size, their sex, whether or not they were stressed throughout their lifetime. And we can use all of this and make it relevant because if you do it correctly, it can actually lend context to what we know currently and the research that we are doing. It can also lend context and help us figure out how species or an ecosystem may adapt to future change, because they've probably adapted to some change in the past. So my project's been working on walruses for the last few years, and we've been looking at 3,000 years worth of bones from an individual. And we're taking all of that and we're trying to answer some very basic questions. Were these walruses stressed in the past? In fact, we've found out that walruses were more stressed in the past than they are today. So walruses from the last 10 to 20 years don't exhibit a lifetime worth of stress in their bones. But walruses from 80 or 90 years ago, as their populations were growing rapidly, actually do show signs of stress in their bones. So this was an unexpected thing that we found. Also of interest to us was the fact that we were able to develop a new way to figure out age at sexual maturity of walruses through their teeth and through doing trace element analysis of those teeth. And we've been able to link that changing age of sexual maturity to actual changes in population size. And one of the most interesting things that we've found, I think, because I spend a lot of time on these issues, are that past walruses' diets were much more diverse than they are today. Today, all these walruses that we've been looking at for the past decade or 20 years have a much narrower diet. We've not really been able to link this directly to sea ice change, but it is something that helps us decide what to do with future research. We've been taking all of this knowledge of 3,000 years of change and we've been placing it into context with what we know from Western science today about walruses and also what we know about traditional knowledge. So we've been spending a lot of time on St. Lawrence Island with a lot of the subsistence hunters. And we've been looking at this and talking to them and sharing information. And one interesting thing that an elder said to me a couple of years ago was, hey, you know, this is actually giving me some hope for the walrus. Like maybe they'll adapt to this because they've adapted to some of these changes in the past. We actually don't know the answer to that right now, but all of that information that we've accumulated and the hope that we've been able to give some people was just sitting there in their bones. Thanks. Any questions? Yeah. All of the old walrus bones that we've managed to get are out of archaeological sites, so they are actually walruses that humans hunted in the past. And that's why we don't go much past about 3,000, 3,500 years. Yeah. So I have a salmon project going on right now and a cod project. We've been working on some bird bones. And I have some smattering of data of sea lions. So yeah, we've been working on that. Basically, if a human being ate it in the past and dumped it into their garbage dump and I can dig it up, or I can get something historically from a museum, we can look at it.